Hey everyone, this is Mason, and you're listening to the HerbRally podcast. Today's episode is with Jade Alicandro Mace, and this is lesson 1 in her bone broth module on HerbRally's first ever course. It's called The Art of Frugal Nutrition, and it's a sliding scale course, which means you could get it for free. It slides all the way down to free. We also have registration prices of $25, $50, and $100 is the full price. But yeah, so like I said, Jade Alicandro Mace, she teaches the bone broth module. It's about a 30-some minute course. As you'll see today, the lesson 1 is only a few minutes long. But the rest of the course, she goes more in depth about the frugality of bone broth, the nutritive value of bone broth, some herbal additions, and so on. But yeah, to learn more about that module, along with the other 2 current modules, which is dumpster diving and fermentation, just go to herbrally.com/frugal nutrition. As always, I will be sure to include links in the show notes as well. So yeah, along with the video lessons, it's kind of like a cooking show style with Jade. Along with the video lessons, there's also downloadable audio as well as an accompanying PDF, and her PDF is quite robust. It's got a bunch of recipes in there. But yes, if you're interested and you'd like to learn more, once more, go to herbrally.com/frugal nutrition. Also wanted to let you know that between now and December 14th, Jade is hosting what she calls her Spice Rack Medicine Winter Online Series 2022. And she opens this up annually. Just to tell you a little bit more about it, this course covers the rich subject of kitchen medicine, demystifying herbalism, and bringing it back into the home. You'll explore the amazing medicinal uses of culinary herbs and ways to capture their properties for medicine, both in herbal preparations and in your food. Among the most ancient of plants included in human diets, these plants are still much loved and utilized in modern herbalism today. I'm not going to read you the entire landing page, but yeah, I'll leave you the link in the show notes to read more about it. Again, this cohort ends December 14th, so you have between now and December 14th, 2022 to register. You'll see in today's episode, Jade has a very approachable teaching style, and she's been teaching for an extremely long time. You can find more about Jade and Milk and Honey Herbs, which is her company, the link in the show notes, or follow her on Instagram at Milk and Honey Herbs. All right, I'll try to keep the intro short and sweet today. I hope you enjoy lesson 1 of her bone broth module from the Art of Frugal Nutrition course, our first ever course. And thank you so much for listening to the HerbRally podcast. I will talk to you all later.
Welcome everyone to our class here on HerbRally, all about making bone broth. So my name's Jade Alicandro Mace. I'm an herbalist based in Western Massachusetts. My business is Milk and Honey Herbs, and I am super inspired by food as medicine. So what we're going to be talking about today is the process of making bone broth, how to do it on the cheap, and recipe ideas and all of that. So let's just jump in. And just to give you a little bit of flow of how it's going to go, we're going to start off by talking about the process itself. I have everything here that we need, got the pot going, and so I'm going to kind of talk you through it all. Then I'm going to talk about the benefits, and then I'm going to talk about some recipe ideas, and then I'm going to talk about adding some herbs to your bone broth as well if you want to make it into an herbal bone broth. So I'm going to just jump right in. So just to show you, what I did was I got the water going first, and this is the stock pot that I make my broth in. So it's not gigantic, but I do have a family of 4, so I do tend to make pretty big batches. And so you don't need anything bigger, but you definitely could do something smaller as well. This could even be done in a crock pot, or if it was large enough, or folks do this in Instapots. So those are all options. I like to do it on the stovetop personally. And so how I usually do it is I throw my bones in and a few other things that I'm going to share, and then I cover it with water and go. And that is the simplest way in terms of a quick description of how to do bone broth. Of course, we're going to get more into it. What I did today, for the purposes of kind of it being kind of a cooking show, I got the water going already so that we could just kind of get the process going. And so here we have the ingredients that we're going to be working with. So we've got a chicken carcass from a cooked chicken. And I saved everything. So I've got bones, tendons, skin, the whole thing. And at its simplest, your bone broth could literally be just that plus some vinegar. And that's what this is here. This is apple cider vinegar that I infused with nettles. So it's a nettles infused vinegar. Now you could also use just straight up apple cider vinegar, but it could be any vinegar, anything acidic. So it could be white vinegar, red wine vinegar, balsamic. You know, balsamic has a stronger flavor, of course, but the truth is you don't taste any of the vinegar in the broth. It really, the, sour pungency of the vinegar cooks off. And the reason that you want that as your baseline of, the vinegar and the bones and skin and cartilage and all of that is because that helps, the acidity helps to pull out the minerals from the bones. So you'll still get a good broth, but it really does help. You could even use lemons. So just something acidic. However, what I like to do is add a few other elements, even if I'm doing just straight bone broth, as in not an herbal bone broth. So I'm going to add this in, and then I'm going to show you the other things that I like to add. And as much as possible, I'm going to try to do this suavely. So here is the chicken, and I just want to emphasize it's not just the bones. You definitely want the skin. You definitely want, if there's like meat left on the chicken. This has a bunch of gelatin that went to the bottom. See, it's jiggling. Hopefully you can see that. You definitely want to put that in. That, of course, is what makes a thick bone broth. And so I'm just putting it all in. And in terms of water to bone and everything ratios, what I like to do, and this is the reason why usually I'm adding the bones and all of that first, is I just like to just cover it with an inch or two of water. And I'm usually doing cold water. That's what I'm generally doing. This is just, like I said, the reason I'm adding it right now to hot water is just so you can just see the process. And you might be able to even see at some point at the end of our presentation, there might be able to see some too.
All right, that's it for the show today. Thanks so much for listening. I just wanted to let you know about 4 herbal freebies that we're giving away if you sign up for our newsletter. We send about 1 to 4 newsletters per week, basically with updates on new monographs, podcasts, events, courses. You get the drill. But yeah, the 4 freebies are an 86-page ebook by Plant Healer Magazine, a calendula ebook by Rosalie de la Foyer, an hour-long adaptogens class by herbalist Heather Irvine, as well as a special discount from Mountain Rose Herbs for HerbRally fans. If you'd like to get these 4 herbal freebies and sign up for the newsletter, just go to herbrally.com, scroll to the bottom of the page, you'll see a button right there. It says newsletter. Just click on that. It'll take you to a page where you can sign up for the newsletter as well as receive your 4 herbal freebies. Thanks so much for listening to the HerbRally podcast, and if you got a minute, please consider leaving us a written review in iTunes or your podcast player of choice. It really helps us out. And thanks one more time. I will talk to you later. Take care.